excited.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to everyone who came in their pajamas today. I compromised. Yeah. That's my alter ego, man in pajamas. Okay. This box says "Open me first," so I'm gonna open it.
Because it's Boxing Day. Unboxing Day. It's cardboard. That's what I always wanted.
It's a Christmas tree.
From New Zealand.
All right, Merry Christmas. Okay, this present says "Open me first," so I'm going to. Merry Christmas. I am David Schwartz, and I'm glad to be here with you this morning. You may have noticed that things are a little different on this Christmas morning. For this service, we are going to literally unwrap it piece by piece. In the presents in front of me are all the different elements of the service, and I'm going to invite whoever would like to unwrap some of these to come up, and one by one we'll unwrap it, and we'll do it whatever order they come out in, even if our words of welcome are the last thing we do. So who would like to start us off and unwrap a present? Yeah. Okay, so come on up, and you can choose which present you want to unwrap. Excellent. It's unwrapping. It's a box. Hold it. Will you hold it up? Hold it up high for everyone. So this is a box that's just full of chocolate. I like that chocolate gets an applause break. So will you pass the box around and everyone eat some chocolate to start off the morning? Excellent.
That is the way we should start every Sunday.
We should replace the prelude with chocolate. Who will open our next present? Yeah, Rebecca.
That's a good thing to do.
Oh, thank you. It's got a marker in with the page marked. With the page
suspense right now.
So many to choose from.
Deck the hall. Friend, will you rise in body or spirit? Let's sing number 235. Deck the hall. If you don't have a hymnal, does anyone need a hymnal?
They're out.
We get bacon.
Okay, who,
Deck the hall.
Y'all sound great. Yeah, please.
Yeah. David, did you get a candy? David, did you get a candy?
Oh, I'm good. Thank you, though.
I don't know if people up there got it.
No, you should open it up. What have we got? All right. Well, we're 5 minutes into the service. It's time for our offering. Here's the frame. Here's the explanation. Here's what I'm told to read. The offering we do each week. The offering we do each week is a kind of a rehearsal of gratitude. You put money in the plate to say, I have enough that I can help out others. It's a rehearsal of abundance. You put money in the plate to say, a whole lot of people doing something small adds up to something big. But for our offering this week, there's something different in the baskets, something to practice gratitude and abundance. In the baskets are cards and pens. And I want you to take a card and take a pen and write a thank you note. There's someone in this congregation, maybe even someone in this room, who could use your gratitude. And this is a chance to say thanks or give a compliment, to practice generosity of heart and abundance of love. When you finished your card to them, be sure to sign your name and seal it and put it in an envelope, and then we'll collect it back in the basket on the way out of the service at the very end. Here's how it works. After today, later this week, I'm going to give all of these cards to Sam in the office, and Sam's going to add the addresses on to the names and stamp them and send them out in the mail for you. So your job right now is to take a card and a pen and write a thank you note to someone in the congregation. And with gratitude, the baskets will now be passed. If you don't know their name, but you can give like a rough description, that works too. Or even like the context that you ran into them again in. Sam's gonna puzzle this all out this week and figure out how to get your note to the person who needs it. So these will go all around. if Ben was here, he would be playing like a musical interlude right now. So you can just sort of imagine. Okay. Yeah, right. Ben, thank you for playing music. We really miss it when you're not here. Well, okay, y'all keep working on your cards, but while you're doing that, I'm going to invite who would like to open our next present.
Oh, come on.
All right, all right. And then we'll put the baskets by the door so that at the end of the service you can drop your cards in. A credit to my older child, Jay, who did almost all the wrapping here. Thank you, Jay. It's a folder.
Oh, a funny folder.
Oh, Merry Christmas.
Very good.
This is what I needed.
This is a piece of poetry. Our reading today is adapted from The Night Before Christmas by my colleague Ben Atherton Zeman, and I made a few edits. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the pews not a creature was stirring, not even ewes. Not puppies, not mice, not even a kitten, as I struggled in vain for my sermon to be written. The staff had all gone home snuggled in their beds, with visions of paid time off dancing in their heads. I was still in the office on Saturday night, my Sunday reflection I struggled to write, when out on the lawn was a note of surprise, like a big bunch of Unitarians come down from the skies. I ran into the sky room and turned on the lamp, and then opened the front door to the cold and the damp. The night was so pretty, it couldn't be forgot, as the moon shone bright across our parking lot. But then he appeared, like some carnival barker, a vision, none other than Theodore Parker. With a great cloud of witnesses dressed much the same, he turned and he shouted and he called them by name. On Thoreau, on Emerson, John Murray, come down. Sophia Lyon Fawes and Olympia Brown. William Ellery Channing, you come down too. Francis Ellen Watkins Harper and Hosea Ballou. I walked into the lot, heart full of delight, as this cloud of witnesses filled up the night. Mr. Parker, I said, you all look so fine. Y'all couldn't have come at a better time. White supremacy plagues us. People are rude. Economic inequality, the poor have no food. Climate change is just about to combust us. Do you still think the moral arc bends towards justice? Parker said, the world's challenges are of course well known, but you must remember you are not alone. This congregation right here in Boulder is united together in a covenantal holder. Each grown-up, each child, each dog, and each elephant works for social justice and spiritual development. Live into your mission, wise as serpents, kind as doves. Connect bravely, deepen spiritually. Embody justice, always love. Then Parker and crew flew off down Arapahoe. Above in the dark, over Christmas lights' rosy glow, Parker turned and he shouted, and no one objected. Merry Christmas to all. we are all interconnected. All right, who would like to open our next present? Yeah, please, Sally.
Okay, then I'll go next, Sally.
Right, there's a lot of decisions. Yeah, open it up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm trying to remember if something breakable is in there. Yeah.
I need something symbolic.
What's in there? It's a clipboard. This is a reflection by Reverend Misha Sanders called Too Much of Everything. And it starts with this quotation from Maya Angelou. Each of us needs to withdraw from the cares which will not withdraw from us. There they were, 10 preschoolers in suits and fancy dresses, each holding one letter of Merry Christmas. I knew that they must have started out the morning with at least 14 kids, because their long-suffering choir director would not knowingly drag them onto the chancel to spell out Eri Chimsa in front of the whole caroling congregation. I had gone to church that morning specifically to see Mel, my friend's daughter. She had campaigned for and won the coveted role of the first M for Mel and Merry Christmas, the one that starts out the whole production, and she was ecstatic about her onstage debut. Eri Chimsa, the letters proclaimed. If you looked carefully, you would see that Mel and her M were not actually missing. She was indeed up there at her rehearsed mark, far stage left, lying prostrate on the floor, gold-tooled dress flipped upside down over her face, both fists flung out ahead, carefully glittered, crumpled M unceremoniously smushed on the carpet under her body. Later, she clearly explained. She said, "It was a little bit too much of everything. I just needed for it to stop for a minute. Next time, I will take calm breaths." And I wondered if Mel had just solved the holidays once and for all. There's so much anticipatory joy, and more than a little gumption in having the grandiosity to show up for a party in gold tulle in the first place, and such self-possessed wisdom in lying down and pulling it over your face when it's too much. And it is too much, isn't it? Sometimes the final days in the Christmas story and in our own lives, sometimes the final days of the unexpected pregnancy find you in a strange place where there's no room at the inn. And in real life, sometimes grief looms largest in December. Sometimes there's one too many dress-ups, and your dress makes your legs itch. And so, I just needed it to stop for a minute. Next time, we'll take calm breaths. Karen, will you unwrap our next present?
Well, it's hard to choose. There's also three. Choose this one. It's very light. Oh, it's from Amazon. Here. I might need, oh, sorry, I used pen.
Thanks for the help.
I recognize that paper. From it.
Wow, a folder. Wow. Doesn't have a link. It was on a deposition.
100% recycled. Will you join me in a spirit of prayer and meditation? Let's begin all with a breath together to join in the stillness of this moment. These words from Kenneth Patton. We have come to the ridgepole of the year, like the very top of our peaked roof. Time falls away to past and future, and now is pause. The sun is a cold, unwinking eye, sleepless, serene. The days no more grow shorter. The nights no more grow longer. All change awaits the turning. The sun has descended from the mountain of the year into the dim valley. It awaits upon the renewal of its strength to begin the climb of the slow hillside of the year ahead. The grass sleeps in the frozen soil. Tree branches are black tracery against the stainless sky. Grays and whites are the colors of the day, with sulky tan, blue-gray of smoke, saffron afterglow of the sun. Let us gather the old year into our quiet minds. Let us for a while not think to the year ahead. Let us wait for a few moments within this motionless while, these hours timeless as childhood. Now is the mood for old mythologies, for tales of gods and heroes, for virgin mothers and shining babes, for dying huntsmen and weeping goddesses, jeweled gifts for a king's son, and the nostalgic promise of miracles and forever. Now in the pause of the year, when time has stopped and reality is no more real, let us make our delight of songs, our feast of poems, and our celebration the telling of old tales. In this moment of joyfulness and delight, we arrive in this house with all the full complexity of who we are, bearing with us all our burdens, setting them down for a moment in the glow of the trees and the hope of what's ahead. All those pieces of ourselves, of who we've been and who we are becoming, we hold in quiet regard at the ridgepole of the year. We'll be together in silence for 7 breaths. we have a few presents still to open. Who would like to open the next one? Yeah? It's another folder. This is a story called Herald Angels by Robert Fulghum, who wrote everything I need to know I learned in kindergarten. He was a Unitarian minister, Robert Fulghum, and his first collections were created out of columns and sermons and stories he'd written. Here it goes. A Sunday afternoon it was, some days before Christmas, with rain and wind and cold, winter gloom. Things to-do list was long and growing like an unresistant mold. Tempers short. Bioindex negative. Horoscope reading suggested caution. And the Sunday paper suggested dollars, death, and destruction as the day's litany. Tidings of comfort and joy, fa la la. This holy hour of Lord's Day bliss was jarred by a pounding at the door. Now what? Deep sigh. Opening it, resigned to accept whatever bad news lies in wait. What lies in wait is a rather small person in a cheap Santa Claus mask carrying a large brown paper bag out thrust. Trick or treat! Santa mask shouts. What? Trick or treat! Santa mask hoots again. Tongue-tied, I stared at this apparition. He shakes the bag at me, and dumbly I fish out my wallet and find $1 to drop in the bag. The mask lifts, and it's a kid with a smile taking up most of his face. Want to hear some caroling? He asks. I know him now. He stopped by at Halloween with his sisters and brothers, and I filled their bags. He's maybe 8. Want to hear some caroling? I nodded, envisioning an octet hiding in the bushes nearby, ready to join their leader in song. Sure, I said. Where's the choir? Oh, I'm it, he said. And he launched forth with an up-tempo chorus of jingle bells at full lung power, which was followed by an equally enthusiastic rendering of Hark the Herald Angels, and finally, a soft voice, reverential singing of Silent Night. Head back, eyes closed, from the bottom of his heart, he poured out the last strains of Sleep in Heavenly Peace. Wet-eyed, dumbstruck by his performance, I pulled a $5 bill from my wallet and dropped that in the paper bag. And in return, he produced half a candy cane from his pocket and passed it to me solemnly. Flashing the grin, he turned and ran from the porch and shouted, "God bless you and trick or treat," and was gone. Who was that masked kid? The one-man choir delivering Christmas door to door. I confess that I'm usually a little confused about Christmas. It's never made a lot of sense to me. It's unreal. Ever since I got word about Santa Claus, a topic on which I will speak no more in this room, I was a closet cynic. Singing about riding in a one-horse open sleigh is ludicrous. I've never seen one, much less ridden in one. Never roasted chestnuts on an open fire. Wouldn't know how to if I had one. And I hear they're not that great anyway. Wandering wise men raised my suspicions. Shepherds who spend their lives hanging around sheep. It's a little strange. Never seen an angel either, and my experience with virgins, the appearance of a newborn king doesn't interest me, and I'd just as soon settle for some other president. Babies and reindeer stink. I've been around them both, I know. Little town of Bethlehem's a pit, according to those who have been there. Singing about these things I've never done, I've never seen, I've never wanted. Dreaming of a white Christmas I've never known. Christmas isn't very real. And yet, I'm too old to believe in it, and I'm too young to give up on it. I'm too cynical to get into it, and I'm too needy, really, to stay out of it. Trick or treat. After I shut the door, came near hysteria, laughter and tears, and that funny feeling you get when you know that once again Christmas has come to you. Right down the chimney of my midwinter hovel comes a saint. He is confused about the details, like me, but he's very clear about the spirit of the season. It's an excuse to let go and celebrate, to throw yourself into the holiday with all you have, wherever you are. I'm it, says he. Where's Christmas? I ask myself. I'm it, comes the echo. I'm it. Head back, eyes closed, voice raised in whatever song I can muster the courage to bring. God, it is said, once sent a child upon a starry night that the world might know hope and joy. I'm not quite sure I believe that, or that I believe in all the baggage heaped upon that story during 2,000 years, but I am sure that I believe in the one-man Christmas choir shouting trick or treat. I don't know who or what sent him, but I know I am tricked through the whimsical mischief of fate into joining the choir that sings of joy and hope. Through a child, I have been treated to Christmas. Who will open our next present? Do you want? All right, I've got a couple of people. Can we save the last one for you? So we get a couple of people first. Yeah, Kay and then Chris. We'll come back.
Oh, J-bars.
We already ate the Zabars, I'm sorry.
No. They just rocks.
Bubble wrap. Lots of bubble wrap. More bubble wrap. A piece of paper. That's it. I'll keep this. And
Oh, it's all out of order.
This stuff's fast.
Oh, no, this is the kind that has passageways, so you can't pop it.
we have a chalice lighting. If you're here for the first time, they're laughing because this is something we almost always do, like right near the beginning of the service. The chalice is a symbol of our liberal faith. Its light is the warmth of compassion and the fire of justice. It's a lamp on our spiritual paths. Our words for the chalice lighting are from Howard Thurman, who writes this: I will light candles this Christmas. Candles of joy despite all sadness. Candles of hope where despair keeps watch. Candles of courage for fear ever present. Candles of peace for tempest-tossed days. Candles of grace to ease heavy burdens. Candles of love to inspire all my living. candles that will burn all year long. Our chalice is lit. We'll open our next present. Oh, Chris, I think, is up, yeah.
Has a little heft.
A little bit of heft, all right.
The telephone directory.
It is a wait, there's more.
Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Boulder. I'm the Reverend David Schwartz, minister here, and delighted to join you in worship this morning. One of the things I love about this congregation is this. I love that a bunch of y'all showed up in pajamas this morning. I love that you're here on Christmas morning. I love that there's a potluck afterwards for folks who want a place for dinner in good company to get together. I love the full-spiritedness of us singing together this morning, even in Ben and Deborah's absence. I want to extend a very warm welcome to everyone who's visiting us for the first time. Rather than gathering because we all have the same beliefs, we're an intentional community gathered around our shared promise to support each other's individual spiritual journeys, gathered around a shared commitment to values. If you're joining us online, please fill out a visitor form in the link in the description. We'd love to connect with you. I have only one announcement this morning. Well, I guess I have two. After this service, there is a Christmas potluck. If you didn't know about it and don't otherwise have plans, you are warmly welcome to stay and join in. Next Sunday on New Year's Day, we'll also just have one service at 10 o'clock that Deborah and Ben will lead, and I'll have the Sunday off. I think it's going to be a hymn sing Sunday, so it should be a good way to welcome in the new year with music. Will you join me in our covenant? Will you rise in body or in spirit? To covenant is to commit that even if we fall short of our aspirations, we still don't let go of them. We don't stop from trying to live them out again and again. And in that spirit, gathered in person and online, will you speak aloud our covenant together as best you remember, given we don't have it projected? Here we go. We gather in fellowship to speak truth to each other, to reach out and touch one another, to care with each other, and to seek the truth divine. So be it. Thank you. Well, now that our service has started, we have one last package. Will you open it up? Hymnal with a paper inside it. 160-some years ago, a Unitarian minister, Edward Hamilton Sears, wrote the hymn, "It Came Upon a Midnight Clear." He wrote, "The days are hastening on by prophet bards foretold, when with the ever-circling years comes round the age of gold, the age of peace." It was a bloody time in America when he was writing. The Mexican-American War had just ended. Civil war inched closer day by day. And it was no better elsewhere. Ireland was deep in the grip of famine. Europe burned with revolution in Italy and France and Germany and Austria and Poland. And in that wounded time, a shy minister wrote this hymn not with a hope for some other world, but in hope that this very world would know peace, and all the people in it would sing together, peace on earth, goodwill. Peace on earth, goodwill to all. Is it farther from us now than it was 160 years ago? Peace on earth, goodwill to all. Is it farther than it was 2,000 years ago? The author Madeleine L'Engle writes a poem called "The Risk of Birth." This is no time for a child to be born, with earth betrayed by war and hate, and a comet slashing the sky to warn that time runs out and the sun burns late. That was no time for a child to be born in a land in the crushing grip of Rome. Honor and truth were trampled by scorn, yet here the Savior did make his home. When is the time for love to be born? The inn is full on planet Earth, and by a comet the sky is torn, yet love still takes the risk of birth. Love still takes the risk of birth. May it be so in this house, and in our homes, and in our hearts, and in the world. Will you rise in body or in spirit? Let's close by singing together number 244, "It Came Upon a Midnight Clear." And we'll sing all the verses. Whoever feels inspired should start us off.
Came upon a midnight clear, that glorious song of old, from angels bending near the earth to touch their hearts of gold. Peace on the earth, goodwill to men, from heaven's gracious
Please be seated. Friends, it has been a joy this morning to make a delightful chaos out of this service together. May the days ahead, may the year ahead bring joy, bring peace, and bring hope. Go in peace, and amen. And I think we'll move on into the sky room to finish setting up and getting ready for the potluck. And you're warmly welcome to join in.